Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Olivia. Don't forget to hit that little subscribe button if you're not already. Turn on your little post notifications and get notified when I upload new videos. Sorry if you can hear some mowing going on outside. My dad is out there mowing. I am starting a little how-to series for the first little episode. Welcome here today. It is a how-to makeup for beginners. So I'm going to be showing you guys who don't really know much about makeup, who are just getting into makeup, who want to know some more tips and tricks, how to do your makeup. Anyone can follow along for this. So if you want to learn some tips and tricks, just keep watching. So we're going to just start off by doing a little toner, a little moisturizer, and I am going to put on something on my lips just because I feel really dry at the moment. I'm grabbing my Caudalie. This is the purifying toner. Look, it's not a must to tone before doing your makeup. I just enjoy doing it. It makes my skin feel like clean and tightened. So I'm just grabbing some little cotton pads. We're moistening them. And we're just going around the whole face for a little bit of a tone. Once we've toned, I am going to go in with a little moisturizer. I'm just taking my IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream little face moisturizer. She is super thick, super hydrating. This is just for like all skin type. Once we have moisturized, I am going to put on a little bit of primer. Primer isn't necessary. Like these beginning steps, if you don't do them in the beginning, it's not the be all or end all of your makeup. Like you will literally be all or end or what? Saying it, you know what I mean. For my little primer, I'm just grabbing one of the little Professionals primers by Benefit. This is a mattifying primer. Depending on your skin type is the kind of primer you're going to want to use. You get like a hydrating primer, you might find your skin's more dry, so like mattifying, your skin's probably a bit more oily. Which is why I like doing it in like my T-zone, because that is probably the areas where I do get a little bit of oil with my combination skin. Primers aren't always a must unless you find a good one. I do like putting this in those areas, especially like over my nose and stuff, because it is the Professional, so in my pores it is just gonna help them smooth out a bit. We are toned, moisturized and primed. Let's move on to the base of the face. This is where I would start if I was a beginner. I wouldn't worry too much about like my eyes or like doing my brows first or anything like that. I think if you can perfect your base, all the rest will come. I'm starting with my foundation. I'm going to mix these two at the moment because I do have like a bit of an old tan left, but not much. And this is what I take when I do have like a normal tan on. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Ooh, highly recommend. But I'm going to be mixing it with the Face Tape by Tarte foundation. I have this in the shade Fair Sand, and then I have my Charlotte Tilbury in the shade 5 Neutral. These are both super full coverage foundations. There is really mixed reviews and opinions on the Tarte one, but I love it. I think it's super full coverage. I know some people say it oxidizes on their face. They don't like how it lasts. I literally, this doesn't budge off my face. It lasts so well. I swear by it. Everyone is going to want a different coverage for their face. That is personal choice, personal preference. I really like a full coverage base, but I understand that's not completely for everyone. So just do what's right for you. If you want light coverage, go for like a BB cream, a CC cream, the Huda Radiant Glow, like the Glowish by Huda. Phenomenal. I'm a full coverage queen, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to make a little concoction of these two, mix them up. Smells put together. Illegal, but I'm just going to squirt some on the back of this. Just do like one big full pump of the Tarte, and same with the Charlotte Tilbury. Oh, she's running out. That's illegal, guys. Oh, I didn't know she was that low. Well, it's just a sign I need to use a little bit more of my Tarte because I am a bit pale. Okay, so like I usually do like one full pump of that, one full pump of the Charlotte Tilbury, but as you can see, she's running out. That's a lot of foundation, but that's going to do my whole face, and I'm going to quickly be able to just chuck her on. I love using a buffing brush. I got this Morphe one. It's great. It's the M439 buffing brush by Morphe. She does need a clean. That's embarrassing. We're taking her and we're taking this, and we are mixing the two colors, and we're just going to be blotting that over the face and then buffing it in. So I just mix them up. And then there's going to be heaps of product on the brush, so I literally go like evenly around the face so we can cover it all. And I just start to buff it in as we're working our way around it. I just move it in a circular motion. I go down, whatever is required for the section I'm in. I go over my lids. And I bring it down, especially when my tan's a bit dodgy like this, I bring it down my neck quite a bit just so it blends in a bit more. When I first started makeup, guys, I would always get those foundations, like just like a Maybelline or something like that, that would just have a real pink undertone to them or like extremely yellow. There was no in between. And I just never used to blend down my neck. So I did have a cake line. Like I would be like white and then I'd be like pink or like orange or yellow. That was before I knew about undertones. No one is the same. We all need different things. When it comes to concealing, I don't really conceal blemishes or anything like that. If you have blemishes on your face or any like spots you want to cover up, you can do that before putting on your foundation. So just grab a concealer that's within the same color range of your skin tone, your complexion. Put that on any blemishes. I just would go in with the same buffing brush or a little beauty blender or your finger and just blend over those spots, and then that's when you can go in with your foundation after and put that over your whole face. And then I always like to go in once I've done my whole base with a lighter concealer. So I'm just taking the Tarte Face Tape concealer, same as the foundation. I go like for a lighter shade because I brighten up underneath my eyes, and I find this always works for even when I have a tan on and I'm using like a few shades difference of the foundation. This always works. This concealer is amazing, but it is so thick you don't need much. I like to go in here when I conceal, so I go a little bit in the inner corner underneath the eyes like that on both sides. What we do to one side we must do to the other, and then I do a little bit on the end there. And guys, I just do a little bit on the tip and in the bridge on the middle of my nose. I'm just gonna go with the same buffing brush. It's a bit easier to blend, especially when you've just done the base of your foundation with it. It's gonna buff right in. I like to go with that first little bit. I go down and then I bring it up, and I kind of like, I don't buff the whole time. I kind of like stamp it in and go upwards with that bit, like so. So that's obviously unblended, that's it blended. It's not a huge difference. It does just brighten it and just add a little bit more coverage as well. If you've watched any of my other makeup videos, I always say like 90% of your makeup is just blending, and nothing you ever do with makeup is wrong. Don't ever let anyone be like, oh no, that's wrong. Like, no, it's about having fun and expressing yourself and your creativity and feeling nice and sexy and cute. We just buff in on the nose. I go down and I bring that a little bit up. Once we have done all of our cream, that's when we can go in with our powders. If you are going in for the powders, you do need to set your face. So like if you're going in for a powder contour, a powder blush, eyeshadow, like literally anything, you need to set it. Because if I went in with a bronzer on this, it's going to be so cakey and I'm not going to be able to blend, which is what we said. Maybe when you're getting into makeup, you might want to use a pressed powder. I've been using loose recently. I just think it gives me more of like an airbrush, flawless look. I'm sorry, I might need to wait till the truck goes. I'm taking pound cake setting powder, and for baking as well. I set pretty much my whole face with this. Not even pretty much, I do set my whole face with this. But I do like to bake in those areas where we just kind of like highlighted, or any areas that I crease. We take the lid, tap her out. So I tap out loose powder, it looks like this. And then I like to grab a little beauty blender. I grab some of that. I pick up quite a bit of product so it looks like this. And then I just go in those exact areas where we just brightened underneath, really underneath my eyes where I tend to crease. I like to add a lot of it, press it all on underneath there. I go up. I'm just doing a lot of that whole under eye and cheek kind of section. I like to get in around my nose. I find that area I lose a lot of makeup, and I do in like my little smile lines. So pretty much I'm just doing that whole middle part of my face. See how my eyelids have already creased? I go back just over with my finger, rub that out. I just go back in and I just go over my lid as well. Moving on to set the rest of the face, I grab a powder brush like so. This is another Morphe one, the M527. I really like it as a powder brush. It's super big, covers a lot of my face, which is great. Just grab some more of that powder, tap her out. And this is when I go over the rest of my face, but I don't go as intensely. So I just literally grab some excess powder, just go in where we're going to be putting those other powders, around the chin, any areas we just haven't covered, we're just going to cover with this. And then you can kind of just dust over where you have just baked. This is what it looks like. It's very flawless. I love it. I love a full coverage look, and this is how I get my full coverage look. We're getting into one of my favorite parts of my makeup. My cheeks, my contouring, my bronzer, my blush, you know, all that good stuff. When I first started doing makeup and still 90% of the time now. I don't really like contour. Like I still contour and contour those features, but I just take a bronzer. This is my bronzer and my contour in one. Grabbing a little angled brush like this. I like using, this is the Morphe E4 brush. I love my Morphe brushes. Looks like so. See how it's got like an angle on it? That's what you need. For bronzer today, I've just decided to take a little e.l.f. one. I'm just packing her on. I just tap it out because we don't need that excess. I just go on my cheek. You can do it however you want. I just go in here. So where I can always tell is I can kind of see my like bone structure where this needs to go in line with, I guess, like the top of my ear, but like underneath in that little section. You can kind of see where my cheek definition is starting to come through. That's where I like to go in for a contour. Some people like it higher, some people like it lower. Everyone's different. But this is where I like to go in on my cheek. I usually go in quite lightly because we can always warm it up. I go in circular motions and I go upwards with it. That's obviously this side done. We're gonna go do the other side, and then I'm gonna show you guys how we're just like warming up on the rest of my face. We're just gonna grab some more of that bronzer on that same brush, and now we're just gonna go up onto like the temples of my forehead. These are just the areas I like to bronze and contour, and just I like for my own face shape. It's really personal preference. I just go like lightly up here on both sides, and then we can kind of do circular motions again. See how it just added some more dimension to my face, some more color. I go into my hairline as well, just so it's not as intense. Moving on, I've got these two weapons. We are going to tackle a nose contour. This isn't crucial, but I like, when I first got into makeup, I never used to nose contour, and now I cannot not do it. So guys, don't be scared. Everything's blendable, and if you mess anything up with the makeup, it's really not the end of the world. You can remove it. I'm grabbing a little Zoeva contour shader brush. It looks like so. It's like a little version of our big one. So I like a little angle on it. See? It's a little bubba. And this is the mama. And then I've got a little like buffing eyeshadow brush that we use to blend it in. Grabbing that same shade of the e.l.f. bronzer. I start at the top of my nose up here. And the way I like to do it is I like to go from like right underneath my brow here is kind of my guideline. And then we obviously just work our way down to the tip of the nose coming in. We're just creating shape to the nose, and we go down. And I do this quite intensely because, like I said, we buff her out. Yeah. I'm just filming.
Hi.
You're not in the video.
No, I don't want to be on.
Dad! The man, the myth, the legend. I like to go in like nice and thin at the tip. For the next step, we just go a little bit on the tip of the nose, like cute, little tippy. And then, like, guys, I just, you know, nose contouring is personal to everyone, but for my nose shape, I do a little line up here, a little bridge. So I got a cute little button on my cute little button nose, like so. We're grabbing that buffing brush and we're buffing her in. Very exciting. Where the magic happens is the blending. The blend of the nose. Blending that bit there. I think a nose contour scares a lot of people, but it's not that scary. You just gotta face your fears and do it. My favorite time. I love a good blush. So for blush, I'm just taking this little Sephora blush. It is amazing. Another little angled blush brush. This is the Morphe M405 little angled cheek brush. Oh, now Dad's let a fly in. Get out of my room. Oh no, that's not a fly, that is a f***ing wasp. Yeah, and now my next door neighbor is mowing. Lovely. Sorry. I'm gonna try and just raise my voice. I've got a blush from Sephora. It's called Sweet on You. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep doing accents. Anyway, I pack her on, I grab her, I pack the product on. I love blush. Blush is like a game changer. I never used to use blush, especially when I first got into makeup, but I'm telling you, use some blush. This is how I apply my blush and where I apply it. So I go apples, I add a lot on the cheek, and I blend it upwards like we did the contour, up, right into the temples. And now we're going to do just a little bit of highlighter. Highlighter is not necessary. I think everyone is back in the day, like when I first started getting into makeup, we used to love highlighter, like boom, like a bright, you know, just big intense highlighter. Now I like something really just really light on my actual cheeks. I still like a good little nose highlighter. I love this highlighter, I swear by it, but it is a little bit expensive. You don't need an expensive highlighter. Get cheap makeup. When you're first getting into it, you don't need anything expensive until you actually start like really wanting to get into makeup. That's when you can be like, yeah, maybe I'll splurge on this, splurge on that. But you can get really good quality inexpensive makeup. It's in 001 Universal. I know like they're always sold out of this. I just sweep across the first two back and forth on a little brush like this. It is the Morphe M501 brush, and yeah, the head just looks like this. And I really lightly on the top of my cheek there where we've just put the blush, I just literally do like a little bit though, guys, like so. And then I go in on my nose, so I do the tip and in the middle, and then I add a little bit on my Cupid's bow, just wherever you want that like glowy look to be. I'm gonna go to my brows next. I've got a little Morphe brush. I don't know the number, but it's great, it's fantastic. An angled little fine tip like this. And then we've got a spoolie on this other side. Depending on your brows is all what you're gonna do with it. My brows, look at the hair. They're hairy, they're full. I've got a lot of hair. Brush them back like so, just so like if there is any product, I'm kind of like cleaning it out a bit. And then I brush them up. I literally just take this Got To Be by Schwarzkopf. I don't ever fill them in anymore, I just gel them. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go in and show you guys how to use like a powder and fill in your brows. There's two little colors in there. There's like a lighter brown and a darker brown. I'm going to be taking some of that darker brown shade. Start at the tail. Fill in any gaps. Always start at the tail and work your way forward. Don't go in too intensely because you can always add more. At the front, I really like to lightly fill them in if I do fill them in. Lightly go in like stroking motions upward. So I've just really lightly filled in that one. I'm going to go do that side, and then we're going to just gel them. I like to go up, so I start at the top, like the front of my brows, and I work it in that upwards motion to the back. And with the back hairs, I kind of like sweep them up to the side, like round, just in that natural shape of my actual brows. An inexpensive little makeup hack I always use. It takes 2 seconds to do. So I grab the bronzer we use, whatever one I use on that day is what I like to grab. I grab a blending eyeshadow brush that looks like so, just a little fluffy eyeshadow brush. This is like the quickest eyeshadow hack I could possibly show you. It's super easy, super cute. If you're scared to do eyeshadow, this still is going to give you some depth, some dimension, something a bit more than just leaving your lid clear with nothing. I just go into my crease, I bring it up quite a bit, and then at the tail I like to do my eyeshadow like this. I kind of like wing it back a bit, so as I'm blending I just go up there. Mascara is super straightforward. Just grab a little one, just go up with the lashes. I go look down like this and I go up. I have literally just layered my lashes. I did have a little bit of like excess mascara go underneath and on top, so I just grab a little Q-tip. You can wet it a little bit, wait till it's dried, and then like go in underneath and wipe it off up here. I'm going to show you guys how easy and simple it is to do a quick little ombre lip. It's my go-to lip combo. I take a lip liner and I take a lipstick. I've got a Mecca Max lip liner in the shade Super. It's just a brown lip liner that looks like this. And then a Huda Beauty lipstick. It's in the shade Buttercup. Got the pencil, and we're just going in on the border of the lips to start off with. We're just lightly going in there. I go a little bit over my border of my lips just because I like that full look. I start on the Cupid's bow for the top, just following my natural shape. Once we've done the border, we go on with the same lip liner and we go on the outsides, same on the border, and then we're going to be grabbing that Huda lipstick. We're going in the middle and then over where we've just done the lip liner. That's when we take the lip liner again, blend it. So just going back in to those same spots that we actually just put the lip liner to begin with. Setting spray time. Yeah, I'm taking my Milk Hydrating Setting Spray to help my makeup stay on, stay set for the whole day. and I'm going to be holding it back up. Close the eyes and just spray away. I'll be back in 3, 2, 1. Hi. This is how it turned out. This is the 7-step process I would take, and in the order I would take to get into makeup. I hope you guys learned some new tips and tricks, and if you're just getting into makeup, I hope this helped. Just remember, don't ever be hard on yourself, just have fun with it. Your makeup is always going to look great. I hope everyone has a great, amazing week. Stay safe, have fun, peace and love, and until next time.